Prasham, we're rolling.
Oh, hey. So, until now, gaming phones haven't made a very strong case for themselves. By focusing on a market that's too niche and not necessarily making phones that are great for daily use, these phones lack the mass appeal. But today, we have a phone that might change this. The 30,000 price tag of the ROG Phone 2 brings to the table an industry-first 120Hz AMOLED panel, Snapdragon 855 Plus, 8GB of RAM, a 6000 mAh battery, a camera setup that's borrowed from the Asus 6Z, air triggers for gaming, and a lot more. While we're definitely not questioning the gaming capabilities of the ROG Phone 2, we're more interested in how the phone stacks up in day-to-day scenarios for a normal consumer. But since this is a gaming phone, let's talk about performance first. The ROG Phone 2, from ground up, is built right for performance. Right from the heat dissipation chamber out here to the powerful hardware that's packed inside the phone, this phone screams gaming. In terms of raw power, the ROG Phone 2 is probably the most powerful phone out there. The air triggers make a comeback and are situated on the right side of the phone. These air triggers can be mapped to any part of the display and make a lot of difference, especially while playing FPS games like COD and PUBG. The Armoury crate is the gaming hub of the phone where all games sit in a carousel, but apart from launching games, this also serves as the control center from where you can get all necessary information like CPU, GPU temperatures, clock speeds, memory utilized, and more. For assisting during gaming sessions, Game Genie steps into the picture. You can initiate screen recordings, go live on YouTube or Twitch, block notifications, get access to real-time hardware-related information, or even search for stuff on Google. The ROG Phone 2 borrows its rear camera setup from the Asus 6Z. The primary shooter is a 48-megapixel sensor that is accompanied by a 13-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. The selfie camera is a 24-megapixel shooter with an aperture of f2.0. The camera application is pretty feature-loaded and there's a wide variety of modes that you can shoot in, including night mode and slow motion. The phone is capable of shooting up to 4K at 60 FPS with the primary sensor and 4K at 30 FPS with the ultra-wide sensor. Pictures are not too saturated, dynamic range is decent, and white balance is pretty alright. The ultra-wide camera is pretty good too and produces images that look very similar to the primary sensor. All in all, the cameras on the ROG Phone 2 are pretty good, but they're definitely not the best in the segment. True to the needs of a gamer, Asus hasn't fit the phone with an edge-to-edge display with skimpy bezels. These bezels at the top and bottom not only serve in offering a great grip for gaming, but they also keep the display clean with no notches and make space for dual front-facing stereo speakers. Coming to the display, the ROG Phone 2 sports a sizable 6.6-inch AMOLED display that sports a Full HD resolution and is protected by Gorilla Glass 6. But one of the major talking points of the phone is the industry-first 120Hz refresh rate. Given how difficult it is to marry high refresh rates to OLED panels, this is a serious achievement for the engineers at Asus. The 120Hz makes the UI of the phone buttery smooth. And for the games that support it, you really need to use the phone in person to understand what 120 frames per second actually means. With all the hardware that it packs, especially the 120Hz display, it would be a shame if the phone would have terrible battery life. But Asus has decided to stick in a 6000 mAh battery, which is a powerhouse. I would always end the day with about 10 to 20% charge left. So if you're a gamer who doesn't move a hair until you've played to your heart's content, rest assured that the ROG Phone 2 is more than capable of offering that pleasure. So where does that leave us with the ROG Phone 2? Well, let's put it this way. The ROG Phone 2 is the best attempt at making a gaming phone for the masses. Right from crazy performance to some impressive hardware, the ROG Phone 2 has definitely got a thumbs up. If you decide to buy the ROG Phone 2, you'll have to settle with two things. First, the camera setup of the ROG Phone 2 isn't as good as the OnePlus 7T, which is the best in this segment. And the second thing, the phone is way too heavy for daily usage. 5 kilo ka phone hai yaar. You won't notice the weight while gaming, but for regular tasks like texting and calling, the weight becomes more noticeable. But apart from that, the ROG Phone 2 is an excellent attempt at making a gaming phone. In my opinion, the ROG Phone 2 is probably the best smartphone that Asus has ever made. In fact, I was so pleasantly surprised with the ROG Phone 2 that I can't wait to check what's next in store from them. If you liked the video, leave a like down below and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Until next time, it's Prasham Parekh from Mashable India.